If you're doing construction work in New York City and you're not sure if you need DOT permits, that's exactly how jobs get shut down every day. Most contractors don't know what to check. They assume since they have a work permit, they're fine. They start the work and then DOT enforcement shows up. Multiple violations. Stop work order issued. Now everything is delayed and costing you money. I've been doing this for over 20 years, and I can tell you this right now. If your construction operations go beyond the property line, DOT is heavily involved. So let's break this down using real jobs I see every day. Sidewalk work. Do I need a DOT permit just to fix a sidewalk? The sidewalk isn't yours, it's city property. So any repair or replacement requires DOT permits for the sidewalk repair and for the equipment being used. So if you're a homeowner fixing a crack or broken sidewalk, you need a licensed DOT registered contractor, at a minimum, a sidewalk repair permit before any work starts. Scaffold sidewalk shed. Do I need a DOT permit for a sidewalk shed or scaffold? Sidewalk sheds are regulated by DOB, but the second you add stairs from the sidewalk that leads to the shed above, or using a rolling scaffold beyond the property line, now DOT is involved too. So if your shed needs a staircase, or if you're using a baker scaffold on the sidewalk, now you're dealing with both DOT and DOB. Dumpster container. Can I just drop a dumpster in the street? If that dumpster touches the roadway, even temporarily, you need a DOT permit for debris container. No exceptions. So if your job site doesn't have space within the property line and you're placing the container in the street, aka the parking lane, you need a DOT permit before it gets delivered. Please don't confuse this with a container permit for a carting company that is only valid for 5 days. Homeowners are allowed to obtain this type of permit for household items like couches and furniture. The key difference is that it's not construction debris. Excavation work. What if I'm opening a street or doing underground utility work? The moment you break pavement in the roadway, you're in DOT jurisdiction. Permits are required before any excavation starts. You even have to call 811 before any digging begins per NYC regulations. So if you're tying in utilities, running new lines, or doing any street cuts, that requires a DOT street opening permit. Cranes, boom trucks. Do I need a permit just to use a boom truck? If your equipment swings over the sidewalk or street, DOT needs to approve it before you even rent the equipment. So if you're lifting materials to the roof or simply doing facade work, operating a boom truck over public sidewalks, DOT permits are required before your scheduled deliveries. At this point, you're probably thinking, all right, but what about my job? Here's the easiest way to figure it out. Send me your job address and the scope of work by clicking the link in the description below. I'll tell you exactly what permits you need and what you don't. Hard rule. Did you notice a common pattern here? The second your work goes beyond the property line, DOT involvement becomes mandatory, not optional. Facade work. What about facade work like brick or window repairs or even storefronts? If your work is on the sidewalk even temporarily, you're triggering DOT permits for sidewalk occupancy, barriers to secure your work zone, and equipment too. So if you're repairing a facade and you need street staging in the parking lane or performing overhead work above pedestrians, DOT permits are crucial to secure your job site safely. Job staging materials. Can I stage materials outside the property line? The second materials or equipment hit the roadway, DOT considers that occupancy. And that requires a permit for both the roadway and equipment or material being stored. So if you're storing materials overnight, placing barriers to secure your work zone, or setting up equipment in the roadway, you need a DOT permit for that space. All equipment and any other approvals DOT may require. New building site setup. For a new building construction, DOT has a whole system for how they process new buildings 4 stories and greater. Before construction even starts, typically during demolition phase, DOT wants to see a phase plan of your project. This phase plan includes excavation, foundation, and superstructure phases. Contractors can obtain DOT permits for debris removal, changing parking signs, and occupancy of roadway during the initial demo phase. For the other phases, DOT wants a meeting with general contractor to discuss the means, methods before any additional permits are issued beyond demolition phase. So if you're not 100% sure where your job needs a DOT permit, approval, or some other type of coordination with DOT, don't guess. That's how jobs get shut down and violations rack up. Send me the address you're working and scope of work by clicking the link below in the description. I'll tell you right away what your job requires and what you should have in place. This is the part where you want to get right so you don't sabotage yourself before you start.